Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I just want to check the stream. Switch to Oscar Mike Radio real quick. You should see it on your feeds, Michael. It's weird.
Yep, I see us going live. I see us. Yep, up and running.
Oh, well, it took me a minute. Let me just check the volume.
Okay.
We'll be. Well, there we go. All right, great. That sounds good on my end. All right. Mine just took a little while longer. I don't know what it is. Good evening, and all right. Hey, it's Wednesday evening, about 7 o'clock. Everything seems to be working fine. I can hear Michael. He can hear me. Hope he can hear us. My name is Travis with Oscar Mike Radio, and we're here right now doing W.A.R. We Are Resilient, and I'm with Army veteran, owner and founder of Hellfish Haven, the veterans nonprofit, gamer extraordinaire, Michael Geary. Welcome. How are you doing?
Well, technically not an owner. Technically, the board of directors owns the
Oh yeah.
organization.
Okay.
I am just the founder and manager.
I was
So
trying to chat you up, man. I was trying to chat you
I
up.
know. I just don't want to have people think the wrong thing there. So
All right.
we are a nonprofit, and so thus we are owned by the people. And we do have a great board of directors. You met one of them last week, Scott Meadows. And
Yeah, absolutely.
we're going to share some more nonprofits this week with folks. Hopefully, if anybody's on the stream that has a nonprofit that they're, a fan of, that they donate to, that they love, please share with us. And also, if on the chance that you have a nonprofit that, has done you wrong, which hopefully none have, you share those two with us so we can know which ones to avoid, as well as which ones to, help out in the future.
Yeah, and that's what it's really all about. Is one thing I'm hearing, Michael, from people is they're almost in nonprofit fatigue. There's so many, you know, things to donate to: bicycle runs, jogs, golf tournaments. Um, the Girl Scouts are out right now in full effect. You can't leave your grocery store, CVS, Walgreens, Dunkin' Donuts without getting flagged down for, a $6 box of cookies with 15 cookies in it. People are just, fatigued almost. And so, start thinking about that. We realize that it's also kind of in the veteran space too. You can very easily get connected with a nonprofit, and then before you know it, you're getting asked for other support and other nonprofits. So I kind of and yes, folks, he's not the owner of Hellfish Haven. He is the the founder and executive director with the board of directors. But from your perspective, Michael, what's it take to run a good nonprofit? And I'm very interested to find out, when you look at a nonprofit that you want to support, and he gave me a whole bunch in the Facebook Messenger before the show, ladies and gentlemen. What are you looking for before you decide that you're going to support somebody?
The key to nonprofit is the caring of the people that are running it, is the investment that they're putting in, as much as they're asking others to put in. You want to make sure that it's almost as if you have a piece of it too. Like, as when you donate to a nonprofit, you are in fact helping that nonprofit exist, and you want to be able to see them succeed and see them do well. And so you want to make sure that where your money is going to isn't something that's going to be gone in a year, isn't going to be gone in 6 months, that they're going to be able to continue the mission that they see forward, and that they have a mission that is pinpointed. A lot of these nonprofits that are out there, a lot of them that you see buyer bewares of, are the ones that are generalized, are we're here to help veterans, transition, but it doesn't say how they're helping veterans transition. It doesn't say what they're doing. Like there needs to be like a specific task and purpose of programs that they have and what they're doing. For me, because I see that there are a lot of nonprofits out there. If you look in veteran nonprofits, I want to say there's something like 44,000 of them for veteran nonprofits. So that's a lot of people out there asking for support, but not a lot of them are have exactly what field they want to be pinpointed in. And if somebody collects profit, somebody collects donations from someone, and they don't know what they're doing with it. Now they've collected that donation from someone, and now that person may not want to donate in the future. So you want to make sure that your people that do donate to your cause are understanding where the funds go to and what has been done. You want to keep in contact with people, whether it's sharing information on Facebook or with a newsletter, things like that. You want to see that a past history of, and like things that I've learned from like the nonprofit mentors that I've had in this so far with Specialist Planning Foundation and Hidden Battles. Like as I talk to them, as they've grown, they've been teaching me some lessons learned. And the thing, like what I started too, like really like in tasking, like how operational wise was with our Delta dog. Once I started working with them, when I got my service dog Jose, I saw how Operation Delta Dog was really taking their nonprofit cause and pushing it out and making sure that everything that happened was for their mission statement, and continue to grow that. And I've seen them go from just being able to have veterans have service dogs to now they have veterans and they have a peer mentor program. And now not only when a veteran comes in to get a service dog, they now also have the opportunity to work with a veteran that previously had a service dog. Like I have a gentleman, Brian, that I work with. He came in after me. Me and I actually met in a VA waiting room at urgent care in West Roxbury, or not West Roxbury, in Bedford. When we were waiting there, my wife happened to have one of the pamphlets for Operation Delta Dog, gave it to him. A few months later, they asked me if I wanted to be part of the peer mentor program. And all of a sudden, they sent me the name. I sent my introduction, and he's like, "By the way, Mike, I don't know if you remember, but I'm the one that you met in the waiting room." And it was just really nice to see that he had gone from the waiting room, in Bedford, to being able to get himself a service dog. And he said that his service dog has made such a difference in his life, and like just be able to have that connection to another vet that has a service dog, and to know that some of the things that sometimes when you go home with the dog, that there are troubles that you're not ready for, and it's nice to have somebody that you can lean on and talk to about that. And so seeing this peer mentorship program grow since I've been there has been a really awesome thing. And they also did train us too on QPR, on question and persuade, and recommend when you bring somebody in for suicide prevention, and that they have these classes that are available now. So it's like to watch the nonprofit grow in size and also in mission, where they're staying mission focused as they grow bigger. So those are some of the things that we look for, is that they're staying true to their mission that they have on their sites.
So it's more than just having a site and more just having a fundraiser. You want to see whether they're young or like a established nonprofit. I'm doing X for veterans. I have Y program that's going to align to what I'm trying to do. I can show you what I've done, and in 2023 and 24 planning to do this. Does that kind of give you the comfort level that they've thought out what they're going to do and they're trying to do it?
It does. It makes you want to know where they've had success. You want to know where they've had failures. You, as like I said, like when you're donating, and I do not donate to these other nonprofits as well. It's my own. Is is putting in the money is where it's going to go. And so and especially with now with inflation going up on price on everything, the dollar spreads thinner each day. So we want to make sure that when people donate, that they know that it is going to a good source, and it is going to help the veteran community, and it's going to target X, Y, and Z instead of just a general it's we're Wounded Warrior Project. first failed was they were very generalized, and a lot of it went to their overhead. In 2016, the report came out, that it was, a lot of money was going into salaries and overhead and marketing instead of to the veterans themselves, and they have done a tremendous amount since then. But it still has that that negative stigma, because up until 2016 they were spending too much on other programs and not on the veterans themselves. But they really have done a lot more since then to bolster their reputation and to bolster their mission statement of helping wounded veterans and making sure that they're actually staying true to that now. They've done a lot more, and the way that they've been a lot more refined since that. Whether it's what the community they're talking about and sharing, such as the Warrior Care Network. That's one of them, where home-based program from the Red Sox Foundation and Mass General Hospital was part of the Warrior Care Network. They had them, I believe, Emory College down in Atlanta, and a few more on the West Coast. I just don't know, familiar with all those out there. But I know the two out here, Emory and home-based program, they have these programs and these retreats for veterans. Instead of doing 2 years of care, you're now able to do 2 weeks worth of treatment. Inpatient. You come into the you come to Boston, you stay at the hotel, and you go over to home base in Charleston every day, and you talk the provider. You have psychologist, psychiatrist, social worker. You have that triad team, and with those three, you're able to get the care that you need. And they also invite your family member to come and join you on part of the excursion of that 2 weeks, so they can also learn about what's going on with you, and they can learn about how to better work with you with your whether it's PTSD, whether it's TBI, whether it's military sexual trauma, whatever you're dealing with, that is there, and you know how to best work with it, whether your family members know or you're able to know. Because the best treatment is having those that you love near you be able to work with you on it. For me personally, that has helped best, is having my wife be able to work with me through my therapy instead of me just doing my therapy on my own.
I want to pop a link here in the chat. It's also, I use this a lot. So this link I put in the chat just now is in the case, Mike and I live in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Every state has something similar where they have their division of nonprofits through the Attorney General's office. And that's what a nonprofit is. It's a, Michael, you've done this. I'm staying up a nonprofit, but it's essentially the Attorney General of your state has given you, for lack of a better term, a license to conduct services and not a business, but to provide services and things to who you're serving, in this case, veterans. And what I tell people is, hey, every state has one of these, whether it's, Hawaii or Alaska or Idaho or this state. And you want to look that up and see, if they registered with their respective state for that year.
They should have a 501c3 number, or 501c7, depending on what type of nonprofit they are. They can have the C3 or the C7. I believe there's C1 through 8. That for different reasons for nonprofits fit into different categories. With it, if there's a religious exemption, if there's for veterans, if it's for a foundation, or the different things will make it become. And like you're saying, it is important to be able to go on there and to validate that the nonprofit is actually a nonprofit.
Right, because if they haven't filed their 990 or 990N, and that's the form that they have to file with the state and the federal government to attest to whether or not, I think the 990N is under $50,000 and 990 is over $50,000. If you as a nonprofit have raised over $50,000 in the prior year, you've got to file the 990 long form and really, be able to explain where your money went and how it was spent. The 990 in, you better have your money straight. Whether it's through QuickBooks or a CPA or a tax person, a professional, you better be able to tell where that money went to, because if the Attorney General asks you in the form of an audit, where your money went, you better be able to tell them. But some nonprofits get kind of lax on that, and they forget to file, or they get busy, or they've messed up. And if you look back and you haven't filed a 990 or tax return since 2020, it's going to raise questions.
After 3 years, if you haven't filed for 3 years, that will be a reason to have your nonprofit revoked.
Or in some cases, some attorney generals are getting kind of fed up with this, and they're just saying, you know what, we're going to drag you into court or do an audit on you, and if you're deficient, we're going to enact punitive measures on you. So there's a sense of responsibility here, and this website is similar to any other website in any other state. It's just a little something extra that we kind of want you to do to understand who you're supporting, and why you're supporting them. And that's the other thing I kind of want to talk about. I don't know about you, but it's kind of hard for me to connect with the golf tournament. I get that the golf tournament is to raise money for the org. I get that. But I think sometimes it's about the golf tournament and not actually about who the golf tournament benefits, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. And that's really tough when you're doing fundraisers, to make sure that that it stays on focus for the organization, and that you are the people that are coming there aren't just there to golf. And it's good to have golfers there, but the key purpose of the the day is to raise money for the organization, and that organization should be the key of it, not the tournament itself. And that's what's tough with a lot of the 5Ks or the motorcycle runs. A lot of them don't have the dedication and the remembrance that a lot of things have. Like I go to say like Special Foundation has their motorcycle run in Taunton. They start and end at the 772 Military Police Company, where Specialist Matthew Pellini was a soldier at, and they're making sure that they honor and remember Matt's thing, and they also remember other Massachusetts veterans that have passed, and they do make sure yearly the people that before they do the run and after the run, that they're out there explaining what's going on, what programs are available, where the money is going to, and Jose sees me getting excited about talking, so that's why you see him chiming in every now and again. He's making sure that I'm okay.
Well, speaking of an org that really does it right, I can't. I'd be remiss, Michael, if we didn't talk about. This is one of the links that Michael sent me. Project New Hope, out of Worcester, Massachusetts. Bill has just done an amazing job over the years with this organization, and I really don't think he gets enough credit for what he's built out there. Do you have any experience with this organization, Michael? I have a little bit.
Reach out with them with a few emails. They've been talking about they've got 2 different programs that are available, as well as a Project New Hope retreat that they have. They've got a food, basically a service where they can come in, and veterans, military members that are food insecure can come in and be able to go. They have like almost a little mini store where you can go in and you can get products that you need to help make sure that your family isn't going hungry. It started during the pandemic, and then has continued on throughout, and making sure that those that are food insecure are able to go into their pantry and see that not only do they have a food pantry, but also they have a baby pantry.
Oh, wow.
You reach out to their staff, shoot them an email, let them know the size of your child and things like that, and they're able to put you in touch with, whether it's formula, whether it's diapers, wipes, whatever you're in need of that you're struggling with. You can let the folks at Project New Hope know, and they do have it's either monthly or bi-weekly. I'm not 100% on that one of when they offer the pantry. But if you write to them, and you can go in on a Saturday over to Worcester and write into their facility, and they'll have it all ready for you if you give them the sizes and things like that you need help with. And their staff will go out and they do a lot over there. The staff is definitely out there, out and about, making sure that they're sharing their message, and that's definitely a great one to show an example of.
I just want to get them in the tag in the Facebook feed. Project New Hope. Here we go. Does great work. We're multitasking right now. Great work. Awesome.
Like I said, too,
Yeah,
I had, and just click their links. Like everything is very out in the open and very self-explanatory. With if you food pantries where you need assistance, if the baby pantries where you need assistance, it gives you a specific email to send to, and I want to say they reach back within 3 or 4 days to us, because we always want to make sure before we put a website on Hellfish Haven for resources that we've talked with them and we know what they're offering and what they have available before we send her in that way. And that Project New Hope is definitely one of those that we have there.
Just checking in on Facebook. Project Die Hard, Brian Gibson, out in Illinois, Kentucky area, is doing some good work. Brian, if you want to join, just let us know, and we'll get you the link, and you can come in and tell us about what you do. So I met Bill Moore, Michael, through Oscar Mike Radio. Bill had him on my show, and I was just amazed when I went out there. It's just what you said, ladies and gentlemen. He has an entire infrastructure set up to where if you need a car seat, if you're need a tie for a job interview or some resume stuff, the program's set up for you to come there and get the help that you need, or he will connect you with somebody that he is. He worked in the Air Force. He was an Air Force veteran, right? And been doing this for a while and has built this organization up. And like I said, I just don't think he gets enough credit sometimes for all the hard work he puts out there. It's really amazing. So we might have Brian Gibson from Project Die Hard come in. And I know we got some other people coming in here in a couple minutes, right, Michael?
Yep, Scott Hyder from Hidden Battles. So he would be available when he gets to the studio. They have a radio show that they do weekly on 980 AM radio that they do from 8 to 9 o'clock. So he's probably getting to be able to come chat with us on Facebook.
Awesome. Brian, just click, if you're still with us, just click that link that says Studio Restream, and it should try to bring you into the chat, and we'll see what's going on here. So again, I'm joined with, there he is right there. I'm going to bring him in. Power of technology. Mr. Gibson, how are you doing? I can't hear you. Oh, he knows. All right. Just, yep.
He's gonna fix
no
it.
problem.
Right back.
He's gonna fix it and come right back. So we'll get him when he comes back, but he is here. So again, I'm joined by Army veteran Michael Geary, founder and CEO. Now it's in my head. Now it's in my head. That's in my head, Michael. Trying to be funny, and now it's in my head. Founder and executive director of the nonprofit Hellfish Haven out of Brighton, Massachusetts. Love what you're doing up there, and we get together and play Mario Kart sometime. I mean, I think that'd be really cool to do that live one night. We'll figure that out. Absolutely. But we're at war. We're resilient, which is what WAR stands for when you see it here in the title, W.A.R. We are resilient, and so talking about nonprofits, because there's tons of them out there. A lot of them, almost all of them, I would say, there's some bad apples, certainly, but a lot of them are trying to help people where they are, which is what makes them so powerful. And, Michael gets asked.
Most of them are volunteer based, where, not many people, if any, are taking a salary through them. I know, like from mine, Hidden Battles Special Cleaning Foundation, none of us take a salary. Every donation that you make goes to the programs for the veterans.
That's hard to do. That's all. It's because, you've been doing this for a while. Tell people what it's like actually trying to not only do your nonprofit's function, but make sure the paperwork is filed correctly and that everything is notated and documented and that you're being transparent with the right people. It's not easy, is it?
No, there definitely is a lot of work that goes into it. And, when I first started, I didn't realize how much it would be. And then as I've grown, like I said, with the mentorship of other nonprofits, have really helped me break down, better ways to do it and how to manage it better. When I had, started with, people working with it, and then our staff shrunk, and then, now we're just down to me and some volunteers working on it. So you try to make the most of the volunteers that you can. And, you want to make sure that the paperwork is done properly, and, making sure that everything is, you dot your I's and cross your T's. And it is tough to get in there. At times it will, take, a month longer than you thought of things. And like writing these grants and doing these grant proposals, like, is a lot more time invasive than I thought it would be. I thought we'd be able to share, hey, this is what we're doing, but you really break down, where this funds would go to, and how to work the programs, and like explaining XYZ in a grant proposal does get to the point where like we filled one for the Staff Sergeant Fox grant that the VA has, and it was something like 35 hours to complete the application and the grant request for that. So these grants are very time consuming, and it is when you're a small team operating, it does take a lot out of you to do that. And it is all these volunteers that are out there doing it. Like there's Scott there if you want to send him the link.
Okay, I'm going to put the link in the chat again. Scott, just click on this link that's popping up in the chat and we will bring you in. Brian will get you on after we get done talking to Scott. So just click on that link I just posted in there and you'll come in. We'll bring you in. I think it's a very good point. People don't understand how much work grants actually are. And I've talked to some people who've actually gone out and hired grant writers, which, I'm like, my nonprofits, that we're starting, it's not big enough for that. But if you don't know what you're doing, grants can be just a huge expenditure and time.
And it does definitely, you're sitting there late hours of the night, trying to pull out what hair we have left, and like,
Hair?
what do we do next? Like,
there ain't nothing up here. Don't tell me that, Michael. I'm like, hey, I need to save what I got. So just check with Michael and see if he's got the link and is all set.
Yeah.
So this is the cool thing, you can be part of the conversation. You can, add in.
We wanted that to be part of this as we created it. Travis was talking, to me one night when we were discussing how we wanted to format this, and we really want, the people that are viewing, the people that are hearing us to be able to come on and be part of the conversation each and every Wednesday. Sometimes a Thursday here and there if we have to.
Semper Gumby. Well, I guess we'll keep talking. No reason to keep quiet here. Hey, and if you're out there watching this, please put in the chat too what you'd like us to talk about. Maybe you have a question about a particular topic. Maybe there's something that you want to share in terms of an event. And
Craig Chapman mentioned earlier, New Englanders helping our veterans. Craig was on with us either the first or second week. Yep, and there he is right on cue. Almost if you knew he was talking about him. The struggles with the grant writing. One thing that I found recently for grant writing is using Chat GPT. And you see it in all the different things of how it's it's passing the bar exam for people. It's it's for papers for students in school. And one of the things that you can put is you can
Oh, we just lost Michael. Hang on one second. Hey, Scott, hold on one second. I see you in there. I'm going to get Michael back in. 1 second. Hey, Scott, just stand by real quick. 1 second, brother. We'll get you in. I think Michael's dog hit a button and dropped him out. So I'm going to see if he comes back in. I'm going to bring in Scott while we're here. Just waiting. Hang on. Scott, hello? I can't hear you. Are you in your... all right. All right. Hold on, Michael. Just going to take you out, but I'm going to chat with you privately, okay, while Michael's comes on. Hang on 1 second. Okay.
Am I here?
Yeah, we just you're coming in. Scott's on his phone and it's just having some trouble with the audio, so we're gonna see if we can get him working. All right, well, it's yours truly solo here for a couple minutes, no problem. Got a couple things going on. I'm gonna try Scott again real quick. Sounds like they're still muted. Yeah, you're still muted. All right. Well, hey, sometimes the guest thing works perfectly, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes you get help from your pets, and so no problem, Scott. No problem. Just we'll work on it and get this right next time. The thing is we're not going anywhere, so um, I'm flying solo right now, but no problem, no problem. Um, to me, this is really invaluable. We'll have this on more and more because Michael does this. Michael, does his nonprofit, full time almost. And, when I first met him, we were collaborating on a project and he'd have to stop and take a phone call, send an email, send a file from his OneDrive to somebody. Um, a nonprofit is not like a normal 9 to 5 job. It's not. You have different things going on that you must do, and you get to remember who you're serving. In some cases, that's a veteran in our case, or it could be a donor who's looking for information, or somebody from local politics, a mayor, a selectman, a council person, anybody like that who might be able to help you. And yeah, Scott's saying that he lives and breathes veterans' mental and physical health. He's a superhero. Absolutely, Scott, and he really has motivated me and inspired me with what I'm doing. We'll announce that here when the state gets done with their paperwork, and it's all good. It's all good. So wanted to have this conversation because again, there's so many nonprofits out there. I mean, a lot of them, and I've tried pulling some messages before from the state about how many veterans nonprofits there are. Um, I don't know if I could do it now. No, I'm not going to do it now. But the last time I did it, there were like 400 or 500 in the state of Massachusetts. Most of them in the South Shore. A couple, a little contingent in the North Shore. Some in the Worcester area, like Project New Hope, and then it kind of petered out the further west you got, which makes sense because the entire state changes by the time you get to Amherst off the Mass Pike. It's like a totally different state. So, hey, Chris, we got Chris, Scott, and Chris from Hidden Battles here. Do you all want to try the link again? If you do, hit the link, and we'll try to get you in. If you're using your cell phone, you got to make sure that your phone is allowed to access the microphone and speaker. It's a little wonky from Zoom, but it will work. We've had it work before, but we got Mike coming back in, or I'm going to bring him back in right now. Mike, how's it going?
Doing good. We got Chris and Scott are on the chat with us.
Yep. See him on the chat. So just said, hey, if you are joined by cell phone, anybody, the link's in the chat. Just make sure your cell phone can, access the microphone or the Restream app. This is what I use. I use Restream for a lot of stuff. So just make sure the Restream app can connect with your cell phone. If you're using your cell phone, you'll be all set.
Okay, if you guys do, just want to throw a little description in there, a little blurb about there you guys go. See ya.
Well, I think they got audio.
Can you hear us now?
Lima Perfect. Charlie.
Awesome.
Thanks for hanging in there, guys.
So we're thanks, absolutely. We're just getting ready for our show, and they're recording another show here, so we're just kind of keep it down a little. But hey, we appreciate you guys letting us on.
Hey, no problem. Michael spoke very highly of you all, and just if you would tell us who you are and what you all do, please.
So I'm Scott, the founder of Hidden Battles. This is Chris.
Hi, guys.
Chris is our marketing genius. Hello. So we're just trying to get rid of the echo that we were creating there. So we are an activity-driven mental health nonprofit that helps veterans and first responders with their post-traumatic stress, depression, and suicide prevention. So we do a bunch of good stuff like kayak trips, rucking. We do equine therapy. Fly fishing, couples cooking classes, movie nights, everything. You think of it. If you find a thing that's going to interest and draw veterans first responders out of the darkness and into our community, then that's what we'll do.
How long have you been doing Hidden Battles?
So we started in 2017. We've been doing it since then. We last year we did some numbers that we were talking about on the show last week. So we did some numbers for last year, fiscal year. We did 110 events, and we serviced over 1,600 individuals.
Wow, that's amazing. That's going. How do you get that all done in that kind of time? That's like one every 3 days.
This is what we look like at 22 years old. No, so what we do is we hold a weekly hero support group on Tuesday nights. We do that. So we count those as our events because obviously we're serving our brothers and sisters. But we do movie nights, which will draw 100 people. We do trips to Canopy Lake Park, to Fisher Cat Stadium, which draws a good amount of people. We do the 22 for the 22.
Oh wow! Nice.
So we have the 22 for a 22 event.
Stuff in the background.
Oh, there we go. So that's an event that we do, a 22K ruck. It used to be 22 miles, but it's 22K now because we didn't really want to kill everybody, to come out and do it. So what we do is we now just do the 22K. Mike was out there last year. He brought Jose with him. He set up his table. He met a bunch of people. But we have over 250 people come to that event. And it's just to come out and realistically, you can do a 5K, you can do a 10K, you can do the 22K, or you can just go until you drop, and then
Scott, where is that at?
It's going to be at Hebron, at the Hebron Town Common, at Hebron, New Hampshire again. Mm-hmm. So we start there, we end there. We have a barbecue, we have live music, and people just hang out at the end. And that's realistically what it's about. We want to bring awareness to the 22 a day, and two, we want to have everybody come and hang out and form that bond, that community that Hidden Battles is. I mean, because realistically, that's what we are. We're a community of like-minded individuals who have gone through the same crap, and we just build on that network. So now, I mean, Mike, that's how we met. We met through Peterson, through the Pelini Foundation, Pelini Fund. And that's realistically what we want to do. We want to build our communities of Hellfish Haven and Oscar Mike and Polini and, Swim with the Mission, Scars and Stripes, 22 Mohawks. We want to build that community that we're all helping each other out.
Well, that's one thing that kind of gets me is you can't, as a nonprofit, operate alone. You've got to build relationships to be effective. I mean, do you find that to be true?
Listen, just like the military, you can't perform any mission without support.
Yeah.
And we got to all support each other, right? Like you have your snake eaters. We'll let the snake eaters do their thing, but you still need infantry, you need artillery, you need logistics and supply and mess and finance. You need all these things to make the mission happen. And there's no way that Hidden Battles is going to do it by itself. We need to rely on people like Hellfish Haven, Specialist Bellini Foundation and stuff like that, because if I can't do it, I need to find the person that can do it for you. It's just the way it is, Like I remember when Mike was looking for Jose, Mike Peterson reached out to me and he said, "Do you know any service dog places?" Now, yeah, absolutely. Operation Delta Dog's the way to go. And we assisted with getting Mike Jose, And that's just what it's all about. If we can't do the job, we find the person that can.
Well, that's really interesting. I mean, you clearly say, "Hey, I can't do the job. I'm going to find the person, let them take the credit, let them provide the service, but the veteran and the person you're serving wins." And a lot of people miss that. They want to, be in their own perimeter and do it, with them in the front. And that's not the right way to do it, is it?
It's got to be. It's the only way it's going to work. The only way. Listen, the mission is to improve the lives mentally and physically of our brothers and sisters, right? And you got to put all your feelings aside, your egos aside, and everything else, because it's the only way it's ever going to work is if we all work together. And if you can't, you have to pass the torch.
Yeah, like on the 22 for 22, Hellfish Haven, we go out there, but we don't go out there as Hellfish Haven. We go out there as a hydration station. We're out there to make sure that the walkers, the ruckers, the runners, crazy as they are out there, making sure they are hydrated out there, and we make sure that we provide that service that day. We're not part of Hellfish Haven that day. We're part of Hidden Battles. Making sure that we're fighting the same fight together.
Yeah, absolutely. And we let you put out all your flyers and everything else, which is great that way, because you never know who you're gonna connect with, who you might meet that day. So I mean, we talk about you guys all the time, and I know vice versa. And as far as Craig, I saw a comment that came in about
Cindy, are we too loud?
Marketing guru stuff. So I don't really do grant writing. I deal with all the social media aspect and kind of flyers and just publication things, if you will, to get the word out about all the events. So that's kind of what my thing is. I'll pitch things left and right. We joke that me and Scott get paid to leave places.
We do. Well, obviously we can talk, and we'll talk to kind of see. We listen. We love when people sponsor us, but we're not looking for sponsors. We're looking for partners. We want people to invest in what our mission is, and and if we get partners with somebody, then they're not just throwing checks at us. They're actually helping us spread the word, and they're investing themselves into us. And that's realistically the best thing about going and talking in person to people, because we get checks all the time, and we always reach out to them and say, "Hey, thank you very much. Well, let us tell you the impact of the money you just sent us is going to be," and they love that, and that seems to get them more involved, because it's now they actually see our mission, and it's not just them giving us a tax write-off. They're actually like, "Oh yeah, absolutely, this is the way it should be,"
Awesome.
So if anyone wants to reach out to us, obviously our website's hiddenbattlesfoundation.org. They can also email us at info@hiddenbattlesfoundation.org, or even check us out on Facebook and message us that way. Me and Scott have a very good response rate on all of those. So,
and you guys do have the radio tonight. What channel?
So we're going to be on radio 980 AM. It's WCAP. If you go over to our Facebook page, Hidden Battles Facebook page, there's actually a link that you can actually listen to on live stream, because we're in Merrimack Valley. We don't really have the best antenna, but you can get us live stream. But I think we are actually going live on Facebook tonight, so you can check us out that way.
Excellent.
We got
thank you guys for coming in and joining us tonight. And there is a Hidden Battles group too on Facebook. If folks are interested in joining that, they got the group on Facebook as well as their page. A lot of messages.
Yeah, the group's really for everybody.
Yes,
that's why I made the group, is so tons of different organizations and like-minded people and people who support our missions can all kind of come together. So that's what that's for. It's for everybody to use.
Yeah, it's your bulletin board. Let's spread the message. Let's offer some information and some programs to veterans, and let's get them all healthy. Keep them engaged.
I want to thank you guys for coming in. Got Brian Gibson up next, and just looking forward to learning more about what you all do.
Thanks a lot. I
Awesome.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys.
All right.
Stay safe.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Hey, guys.
Hey, that was Hidden Battles. What a great org. I'm going to bring in Brian Gibson now from the Kentucky, Illinois area. Michael, I've known him and had him on my show. Hang on one second. Mr. Gibson.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Doing all right, Brian. I want to introduce you to fellow Army veteran Michael Geary, founder and executive director of Hellfish Haven. This is Brian Gibson, founder and director of Project Die Hard. So welcome, Brian.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. It's been a while since I've been on your show, man, but we've been rolling and rolling. I got a big praise report I got to put out.
All right. You got like 10 minutes. We're going to give you the time, but knock it out.
2 weeks ago, right? You know me, I will never use the suffering of my brothers and sisters to raise funds, right?
Yep.
But a veteran we've had in our program for the past 18 months, everything came together, and he now has a contractor van to start his next phase. He's clean, he's sober, he got his driver's license back. That's our mission. The one-on-one, the hand-holding, the nudge to get him going.
So tell Michael what Project Die Hard is and about. It's his first time hearing it.
Okay, Michael. Well, I was an Army medic, and you know we lose too many of our brothers and sisters, right? Well, I lost more than multiple tours to that demon suicide. So in 2018, I started Project Die Hard with the mission to build a 100-acre facility. Well, we just got our feet under the ground in 19, and then good old 2020 hit. So during 2020, the VFW did a story on me under the Still Serving campaign, which led to WSIL TV doing a story, local news station, that led to 20 acres and a 10,000 square foot building being donated.
Outstanding.
This is Forward Operating Base Rush, named after Sergeant Courtney Rush of the United States Air Force, who lost her fight to the demons January 3rd, 2012. This is our first facility, and when completed, will house 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families for up to a year.
Now, is there any criteria for them to come into the program?
They have to want the help. And, every case will be on a case-to-case basis. Okay, and people call me heartless, but I'm not. But every veteran that comes into our program every 30 days goes through a review. And if they're not putting in the work to get better, I got to go, sorry, brother, sorry, sister. We got limited resources. I can't waste it on you're just here to get a free cookie.
Dude, it is tough because it is hard to see because there are a lot of veterans out there that are just happy with their status quo. And you do want to save the space and save the work for those veterans that are willing to help themselves along as well.
Yes. Now, we actually are getting ready to hop on a Zoom meeting with a politician tomorrow, but we just brought back our fellowship breakfast. This is one way we give back while we're working on our facility. This is the first Wednesday of every month here locally at our IHOP. We invite the community to come. Veterans eat for free. We cover that cost. Okay, everybody goes, how do you do that? Well, we put a big donation bucket there.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of support from the local community there?
We're we're gaining on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of those? Because this is a big like goal asked. Like this is like a Mount Everest to 20 acres and all this space. But is it like a locomotive? Once it gets going, you're starting to get some momentum now.
We're starting to get some momentum. Okay, we just brought on off the leash canine services. They're bringing their programs to our facilities. Again, if you have a nonprofit, right, that has a program that wants to use our facilities, contact me. Okay, teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does.
Everyone's going to accomplish more. Our piece of the pie are these facilities. If you have a nonprofit, you have a program, you want to do a retreat, reach out. If we got the space, come on.
That's very interesting because a lot of times, organizations want to do stuff, and the first thing that comes up is, oh, I don't have an event space, or I want to do a retreat, but oh yeah, I've got to pay this huge fee to this resort to have the thing there, and the resort makes money, and I can't serve the veterans the way I want because that's the way it's done. So that's really interesting.
Forward Operating Base Rush will have a retreat center. We got 20 acres. You got to go across the stream, which if you know of any Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts that need to build a couple bridges, let me know. Right? But you go across the stream, and on the back 7 acres, we're going to have a retreat center that will house 24 people for a weekend. My only request is anybody that brings a retreat, right? And I got it. Some people will charge money for people to attend retreats. Our residents in our programs get to attend any function being held on our property at no cost. Because if we're not charging them anything, you're not going to either.
I think that's fair. I mean, to be able to use the space and be able to execute your mission the way you need to and want to, I think that's totally fair. It's a value add for the veterans you're serving.
And how do we get in contact with you guys?
ProjectDieHard.org is our website. Excuse that. We're reworking a couple things on it right now. Contact@ProjectDieHard.org is our email. That's the main email to get into Die Hard system. I got a great team. Yeah. My brother here, he knows how to hit me directly. He's got my number, so he can give it to you. That's the email because I'm getting swamped now, brother. It's like,
no problem. I'm just glad to have you on. We're getting ready to wind this down, Brian, but thank you so much for popping in and telling. I mean, you're in the Illinois-Kentucky border area near Indiana.
We're
here.
Western Kentucky, Southern Illinois, Indiana, Missouri, all within 40 miles.
We're here in New England, but a lot of people here in New England learn about what you're doing tonight. And that's very important. So thank you so much, brother, for coming on.
Brother, and have a safe and blessed one. I still want you on our podcast.
All right. We'll make that happen for sure.
Right, later.
Really cool, man. Thank you, Michael. I think it's really cool that, hey, we got Russell out in Seattle watching this. We have people from the Midwestern all connecting on the same wavelength. And, it was great meeting, your guys tonight. It was just awesome.
It'd be nice. Like I said, too, those guys are going to be having their show at, 8 to 9 that they do with 9:80 a.m. And they have a restream on their Facebook for Hidden Battles. And it was those guys, like they said, I met them through Mike Peterson at the Special Spleen Foundation when I was in search for a service dog. They were the ones that, got me in touch with Operation Delta Dog, who I got Jose from. And it was at no charge to the veteran. And at first they were a little concerned because I didn't have a car. I didn't have the license to get out there every week for training. And, once they, made that commitment that they would help get me out there if I ever needed it, Delta Dog was more willing to accept me into the program and did. It took a little back and forth, but we got out there and, they did, have me on the program, and we are working on something in the near future to have a program closer to Boston for those veterans that can't get all the way to Hollis, New Hampshire for training every week. We're trying to set up a program that'll be closer to them, where they can just take the T over instead of having to, drive an hour out to Hollis, New Hampshire to be able to get a service dog.
Awesome. Well, I got a hard stop in like 2 minutes, but I just want to say thank you all for coming on, watching this tonight, checking out what we're trying to do, and you got to meet, two other nonprofits, Hidden Battles Foundation and Project Die Hard, and Craig for from New England helping our veterans, checking in. Thank you very much. He wanted to, Michael, collaborate with some other people and get some help with marketing and grant writing. And maybe this is what this is all about tonight. It's just connecting these three people together. And I learned something, and I hope you learned something from Brian Gibson and Project Die Hard.
Definitely, I look forward to sharing their mission as as they go on and they build their forward operating base, in honor of their fallen comrade Rush. It'd definitely be awesome to see how it grows. And thank everybody for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on. Always a pleasure to chat with everybody out in the stream. And we can't always get everybody on, but we are glad to always have you guys viewing.
Absolutely, and we are resilient. And Michael, it'll be next week before we know it. It's March 1st next week, I think, right?
It is.
It is. So, I mean, this year's flying by, and we're glad you're here. And thanks again.
All right, guys, thanks again for joining us tonight. And we'll see you next week. We're going to try to talk about nonprofits again next week. So anybody between now and then, if you want to send us the good, the bad, and the ugly of nonprofits.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, and we will talk to you soon. And what's going on with my computer?